YouTube? This is Charlie426, and today we have the review of the robot Damashii Gym Ver Anime. Now this, as you may have expected at this point, I kind of grown tired of waiting for a new HGUC revive of the gym kit. Because the HGUC gym kit that we have currently is kind of old. It's very old. It's one of the early HGUC kits out there. And granted, we have the Gundam Origins gym variants out there, which I have reviewed all of them, I think. And then we have the Masquerade 2.0, and you know, there's also a lot of other gyms. Like even we have the Gym from the Build Fighters. But still, I'm gonna think or guess I'm not the only one who's still waiting for a revival of the HGUC gym. But until that happens, I decided to check out the Robot Damashii version. And definitely, when you look at it, it definitely has that anime drawing style onto it instead of the, how should I say, instead of the clunky straight line-ish design. Because if you see the the figure all around, it definitely has that roundish design here and there. While there are still some clunky parts, but still the overall looks and feeling is definitely more roundish. Alright, so as usual, we're going to go with the components. So I'm going to push this aside a little bit and see what we get. So here we have on the left, this side, here we have most of its equipment. So some of them I'm not going to show because some of these equipments are pretty much repeats from my previous reviews, such as the Prototype Gundam, or heck, even I think the Bazooka was even in the Gundam Alex review. But once again, here we have the shield connector. Now there are two options for the shield. Today I'm actually going to show you guys the handle, because for this one, it's not working with the gym for this, because I don't know, this one actually got a little bit loose for some reason. So I'm going to actually show you guys the handle. So and I have showed my other previous reviews with this one, so keep that in mind. And I will leave a link down below for my previous reviews that has similar equipment with this. So here we have another bazooka connector for the back skirt, and we have the Hyper Bazooka, pure gray, and then we have this place that can actually move around. No ammo clip that you can actually separate, but still good enough. And then you have the moving handle, which actually is a big help when you actually connect it to the hand. We get two beam saber hilts. One is your standard beam saber hilt, and you get only one beam saber effect for the standard one, and then you get the curved one. So if you want to do like a slashing pose, this is what you use, which I have showed before. So once again, I'm gonna be passing on that. Now currently on the figure, I'm using the longer version because I don't know, I felt like the anime version. Since this is the anime version, I felt like putting the longer one. But the longer one is mostly intended for you to hold the beam saber with two hands. So that's the only difference. So yeah. And once again, being a beam saber, I don't think it's really necessary to show you guys, but actually, let's keep that there. And then here we have this thing, which is actually meant for the shield and the new beam spray gun. Yes, this is my first time seeing the beam spray gun in the figure format, and definitely looks nice. Very simple and small and compact. So we have this piece. You can attach it to the shield, inside of the shield like this, and then you can store in the beam spray gun. I believe this was also a thing for the Prototype Gundam. I could be wrong, but yeah. So this is how they store it, or the other way around. So I say that's a pretty good consideration, because so we do sometimes see like some mobiles pulling out their machine gun or weapon out from the shield, but we never actually see them how they're connected. Okay, and then as usual we get a good amount of hands. So we get a open hand for left and right, nothing too special. And then we get this semi-open hand for left and right, so these are mostly for poses. And then we get, I believe this is the trigger finger for left and right. So yes, you can hold the bazooka and beam spray gun together. I'm going to leave these here so I can show you guys how. And then we have these hands for mostly holding. Actually no, these are the trigger finger hands. Sorry about that. So these are the trigger finger hands for the weapons. These are the hands meant for holding the beam saber or the shield. Yeah, sorry about that mistaking. Because some figures actually give like really similar looking hands to the point where you have no idea what the difference is. Mostly SHF figures, but yeah. And here we have one of those hand storaging rackets, which, you know what, if you, I believe this would be actually pretty useful if you don't, for those who don't like keep the boxes. All right, so that's all for the equipment, and here's some other stuff. Now, um, I remember seeing a lot of good promotions, like mentioning the gym, because they want you to buy the gyms for these thruster effects. You get 6 in total, because most of the case, like at best, you would get 2 thruster effects, but the gym actually gives you 6. Because even the Gundam Alex, they gave you 2, but in total you can put 2 thruster effects on each foot. So that's 2 and 4 since it's both foot and then both feet, and then the backpack can take in 2. So that's at maximum. If you want to put every thruster part in it, you need 6 at maximum. But yeah, I believe the gym is the only figure that gives 6 thruster effects. I'm not sure about the Xeon stuff, but for Federation, definitely the 6. Now 4 of them are the same. They are all the same lengths, and then the connecting part is straight up. But 2 of them are they're also the same length as these, but they are the bent ones. Now I assume these are for the backpack. And yeah, so that's that. And then a sticker sheet, which I was not expecting. Like the Gym Cold Districts, I had these. I don't think the Alex had these, but this one actually has it. We have some bullet marks, some scratch marks, yeah, more bullet holes, more smaller scratch holes, and I have no idea what these are. These ones definitely look like something that should be in the cockpit, but the figure does not actually have such functions, so yeah. And black and white numbers. So yeah, I say that's a pretty good sticker sheet, or decal sheet. Okay, now let's get on to the review. Now, once again, I still have more figure reviews, and I think on the next review, I'm going to either review the Robot Damashii New Gundam or the Full Armor Gundam for anime. Alright, so let's see the articulation on this one. Now, granted, I have reviewed the prototype Gundam, but I think being a gym itself, I think I should still check the articulation. Okay, so let's start with the head. Now, the head, with the pictures, I wasn't too sure if the visor was going to be actually a clear green piece or just like green colored paint, like the front head camera right over here. But luckily, it's a clear green visor, and I absolutely love that aspect. We have the Vulcans engraved, and the head definitely looks very roundish. Like I believe the kit would have like more lines to it, but still, definitely a nice touch to it. And then the back head camera is also painted. And the head articulation is very good, so you can, down doesn't really go that much, but when it comes to going up, it's definitely superior. Look at that. And I don't know what this thing is supposed to be, but still, that's a good amount of articulation, which HGs don't ever do, I believe. I don't think I've seen an HG kit that could do this, but if there is, please let me know. And then regarding the 360 twist, it's possible. No difficult at all. And I believe while you're even doing the 360 twist, you can do it. You do this all as well. So that's very nice. Okay, for the shoulder articulation, I would like to say this right off the bat. Like the Gym Cold District site, it does not have the extending part for it, so it can go even up another 90 degrees. So going to the side 90 degrees is the best you can go. But on the arm itself, you have a 360 twist, and then on the lower arm, you also have another 360 twist, and that's no, where is it? Okay, that hole is for the shield connector. Now, if you're using the connecting part, you have to put it there, and then you connect the ball joint to the shield. But this one on mine is very loose, so it pops out very frequently, which is why I'm going to show you guys the other connector, because I haven't shown you guys that up to this point. And then the bend is very good, double jointed bend, and your hands are your ball jointed hand, but the other way, not like HGUCs where the ball joint is on the hand, but it's actually inside. The ball joint is coming out from the arm. And also 360, sorry about that, 360 twist on the arm itself is possible, and this is how the arm is actually connected, just by a simple ball joint. But regarding the shoulder articulation, the shoulder itself doesn't move, but the entire body connecting part actually moves like this. Oops, sorry about that. So, but if you want this to happen, you should not be pushing the cockpit, which I was just doing. So you have this nice movement going on. So this actually does help some more with some certain poses. Okay, now let's look at the backpack. The backpack, very simple, very basic, very light. So here we have the thruster, we have the the booster effect parts where you can connect now. Now you can technically connect the the straight ones, but I believe depending like putting these ones on the feet might be awkward. Putting the bent ones on the feet might be awkward to some people, which is why I think you have to use the bent ones, right, like this, or like so. You gotta keep, so for the angle wise, you gotta be like you have to choose. So yeah, depending on how you connect it, it can be like this, or you can twist it around so it can go even lower. Now, if there's one thing I don't like about the figures is that I don't know why they had to put it on here. Maybe I wish I could have preferred like maybe on the feet, but I guess I could just sandpaper or scratch that part out. Alright, now let's see what we got. Now for the body articulation itself. Now this is a figure, not the kit, so there's no core fighter gimmick in it. So the body can go 360, well almost. For some reason it's being blocked by something, so 90 degrees twist to the body is possible. Uh-oh. There we go. Okay, no, if you force it around, you can still go 360. I don't know what was blocking on the other side, but yeah, I guess that happens. And then I've heard some people don't like the Ver-Anime Pro, the Arc 78 ab crunch, so I assume that would apply to the Gym Ver-Anime as well. But you do, well, it's kind of hard to call it an ab crunch, but you still do get a good amount of movement on the body. It's just that it doesn't go forward or folds in too much. So yeah, and I believe you're able to take this gray section out from the cockpit, because I believe if you buy the Char Zagok Ver-Anime, you have an effect part where the Zagok is penetrating its body. But yeah, I am having trouble getting this off, but hopefully I can manage it someday. Okay, for the waist section, on the back of the skirt, you have this part that can open up. Come on, open up. Oh, that's odd. Okay, there we go. You can open this section up, and this is actually meant for... I'm just going to show you guys this now because, you can connect the part and then connect the bazooka. So you can store the bazooka in. Actually, in Gundam Battle Operations 2, I believe this is how they carry the bazooka. But there are some gyms, I believe the Cold Districts type, I think, actually had a hole on the backpack where you can actually store the bazooka like this, or in this sense. So that's also a very cool gimmick if you ask me. Of course, getting this connector out of the bazooka was tricky. There we go. I think I hit the camera, but sorry about that. And let's look at the waist section. Now the back skirt does not move. Side skirt does move about up a good amount. And then the front skirt does move. Actually, I had the front skirt, this side of the front skirt actually pop out a few times while posing, but luckily it connects very easily because it's on the ball joint. The side skirt, you can see the connection right over there. It's actually connected to the back skirt, which is actually pretty smart. Okay, so as you can see on the leg, there's a nice side swivel going on, but it doesn't move too smoothly. It's kind of stiff, and then the leg can go 90 degrees to the side, which is something I keep forgetting to show you guys time to time. And then the leg can go about 90 degrees to the front. Has a nice double jointed bend. That's very nice. And then for the back, not so much, because the back skirt is obviously blocking. Okay, and I do like this knee gimmick where if you fold it, you can see the knee section also popping, separating as well. And the feet are, I guess, this would be called a ball joint. There's that, so you have a nice pivot going on here as well, and the feet can go forward and then back, not too much backwards, but forward a good amount, and the end tip of the feet can also move as well. Okay. Okay, I think that's it for the basic articulation. Now let's see the equipment. So first of all, as mentioned, we should take off the hands like that. I'm going to take off this side first, and then now at first, this is the hand that it came with, the box, and I thought you could connect the shield with it, but not as easy. I'm jamming it in as possible as I can, but it's barely going in. So what I do is I take this part off. So I'm going to assume these hands have no, other than just like being normal fists, they have no purpose. They can't hold anything. If you have a case where you can actually hold something with those hands, please let me know. So this is the trigger finger, and then, yeah, some of these hands are really hard to differentiate time to time. So I get this hand, which is actually meant for the beam saber as far as I can tell. And like, oh boy. Yeah, and then pushing them in might be tricky, but it works time to time. There we go. So, and then it should be able to connect. There we go. Now it holds it, and I guess now I've only shown the connecting part of the shield connectors through the arm, but actually using the handle does have more merits to it because you can actually it allows you to hold the shield more freely and do more dynamic poses. So I'm actually regretting that I haven't done this a lot more often. So yeah. So it works, but sometimes the hands will get in like off position, but you can always correct them as you want. So that's a very nice gimmick. So that's that. So from now on, if I do have a shield like option, I think I'm going to use the handle option because I had more fun and more interesting poses with using that. And with this hand, you can also connect the beam saber. You just need to slide it in, and there you go. You have the beam saber connected. This would also apply to the longer version, but you can see. This is the standard beam saber, but when you actually use the longer version, you actually have more space left for the second hand. And there we go. So if you push it all the way in, you have actually enough space to hold it with the other hand. So that's actually very nice. And when I first saw this, I had no idea why this had two beam saber hilt, but one being longer. And I thought that was like some sort of like, maybe this is like a clue for a future, gym variant, like the gym light armor type. And yes, I am still kind of praying to see a gym light armor type in the Robot Damashii format, because that would be dope. Okay, now we have the beam spray gun. Like every Robot Damashii figures, unlike HG kits, you need to jam the weapon through the fingers until they get in the right position, like that. At least I had no trouble with this weapon for the beam spray gun or the bazooka, but there are some weapons that are very hard to connect because they just don't go in the right position. Crossbow and X3 was one of those cases. Here we have the beam spray gun. Actually, I'm gonna use the other hand for the bazooka. So yeah, swapping hands is not too easy as you think, but once you get used to it, it gets easier. Or if you have trouble regarding the hand itself, where it doesn't go in easily, like this is, what I do is I get like some sort of metal piece, something like this, like end tip, and then I kind of like jam it in there to like enlarge the hole a little bit, and this actually allows you to go in a little bit easier. But sometimes, or I use a small screwdriver, so it really depends on what you have at the moment. Okay, there we go, we got it. And I think I might have damaged something, but never mind. So we have the beam spray gun, nothing too special, but it's just your typical beam spray gun. And then we have this beam effect part, which I forgot to mention. It goes into the beam spray gun, and you can see it has that nice firing gimmick. But I do wish they would make a shorter version, because them being long, I think some weapons work, but some weapons don't look right regarding this. Like the beam spray gun I think it's one of those good examples, because it doesn't shoot long beams. It actually shoots like small shots. So yeah, I wish they could make a shorter version, or granted, I could just cut this part off and then make a shorter version. So touche. Okay, now what else we got? Finally, the bazooka. Well, actually, no, this is not the final part. The bazooka, once again, all you need to do is jam it in there. Now, usually, I would recommend you jam the weapon first into the hand and then connect the hand to the arms. That's how I usually do it, but for some reason, I didn't think this through. There we go. But once again, you have to jam it in there, and once you have it in, it holds it pretty nice. Yeah, so with the moving handle, positioning the bazooka is no issue at all. And you can hold it in multiple ways. You can hold it like this, or I'm not sure, I haven't tested it, but I guess you could put it on below the whatchamacallit, armpit if you can, like this. So it works all ways if you want to do so. And then finally, I showed the backpack, and below the feet we have 4 holes, which are meant for the thruster effect parts, and they connect all well to the holes. So there's 2 on each foot, like usual. Now, I've heard someone saying regarding my Alex reviews that, not on YouTube, but on Facebook, they say they didn't know Alex actually had foot thrusters on the feet, so, oh well. But yeah, you have all these thrusters and you can connect to the backpack. And then you have this hole for an action base, so you can definitely pull out a lot of good airborne poses if you want to do so. And that's pretty much it for the review. This was the review of the Jim Ver anime figure. Now, definitely, if you're a big fan of gyms and if you want to have a Robot Damashii figure, this I would definitely recommend. But if you're not into Robot Damashis, or you think this is just a little bit too expensive for what it is, I can understand that, because some people don't really think that gyms are that worth it. But oh well. But I would definitely recommend it as a collector. And once again, thank you for watching the review. This was the review of the Robot Damashii Jim Ver anime. If you guys got any questions or requests, leave a comment below. I still have more stuff to buy and build and make reviews out, so please stay tuned. Until then, see you guys next time!